My fiancé told my sister in a wheelchair to stay out of the photos, but what happened on the wedding day shocked all of us. Emma stays out of the ceremony photos, my fiancé Lauren said. The wheelchair ruins the aesthetic. My sister Emma sat frozen, tears welling in her eyes. We were at the final wedding planning meeting, 6 people around Lauren's parents' dining table, 8 days before a wedding that cost more than most people's cars. Excuse me? I said. You heard me? Lauren didn't look up from her Pinterest board. I've spent 2 years planning this wedding. Every detail is perfect. I'm not having a wheelchair in my pictures. Emma's hands gripped her armrests, the same armrests she'd been gripping since the car accident 4 years ago that took her legs and, apparently, her value in Lauren's eyes. Lauren, I'm Jake's only sister, and I'm sure you'll have a lovely view from the audience, my mother gasped. Lauren's mother looked uncomfortable, but said nothing. That's my sister, I said quietly, and this is my wedding. Lauren finally looked at me with those blue eyes I used to think were beautiful. Now they just looked cold. Jake, be reasonable. We're spending $40,000. The photographer costs $3,000 alone. I will not have my album ruined. Ruined, I repeated. You know what I mean. Emma wheeled backward. It's fine. I'll skip the wedding. No, I said. You won't. Lauren's eyes narrowed. Jake, don't make this difficult. I'm not making anything difficult. I'm telling you my sister will be in the wedding photos. Then maybe we need to rethink this entire wedding. The room went silent. Even the grandfather clock in the corner seemed to stop ticking. Maybe we do, I said. Lauren laughed. Actually laughed. You're not serious. You're going to throw away 2 years over one photo? You're throwing away a marriage over my sister's wheelchair. God, you're so dramatic. She waved her hand dismissively like she was swatting away a mosquito. Fine, she can be in some photos, the family ones, but not the romantic couple shots, and not the bridal party. Lauren, that's my final offer. I looked at Emma. She was crying silently, trying to hide it behind her hand the way she'd done since we were kids and our father used to yell. Okay, I said. I accept your offer. Lauren smiled triumphantly. Good. Now about the centerpieces. I accept that this wedding is off. Her smile froze. What? We're done. The wedding is canceled. Jake, don't be ridiculous. I'm going home. Emma, let's go. Lauren's mother finally spoke. Jake, let's all calm down. I am calm, I said. Calmest I've been in months, actually. You're making a huge mistake, Lauren said, her voice rising. No, I made a mistake 2 years ago. I'm fixing it now. I stood. Emma wheeled toward the door. Jake, Lauren shouted. If you walk out that door, we're done. I know, but I didn't leave. Not yet. Because 3 weeks ago, something happened that changed everything. Let me back up, because you need to understand how I got here. How I almost married someone who looked at my sister and saw a defect instead of a person. I met Lauren 2.5 years ago at a tech conference in San Francisco. I'm a software engineer at a startup. She worked in marketing at a Fortune 500 company. She was beautiful, confident, ambitious. She knew exactly what she wanted and went after it. At first, I thought that was attractive. Drive, vision, purpose. I didn't realize until much later that what I mistook for ambition was actually control. Emma and Lauren met 3 months into our relationship. Emma was 26 then, still adjusting to life in a wheelchair after the accident. She'd been a dancer before, contemporary, modern, the kind that tells stories with your body. The drunk driver who ran a red light on Highway 101 took that away from her in 3 seconds. Lauren was polite to Emma, friendly even, asked about her physical therapy, complimented her jewelry, all the right things, but I noticed small moments. The way Lauren would position herself when we took photos so Emma's wheelchair wasn't visible, the way she'd suggest restaurants with better ambiance that happened to have stairs, the way she'd talk about our future, travel, adventure, hiking in Patagonia, without ever acknowledging that Emma was part of my life. I told myself I was being paranoid. Lauren was just particular, detail-oriented. It was what made her good at her job. When I proposed, on a cliff overlooking Big Sur, sunset, the whole cinematic production, Emma was the first person I called. I'm so happy for you, she said, but I heard something in her voice, a hesitation. What's wrong? I asked. Nothing. Jake, are you sure? Sure about what? That she loves all of you, not just the parts that fit her aesthetic. I laughed it off. You barely know her. I know. Maybe that's the problem. I should have listened. The wedding planning started immediately. Lauren had been collecting ideas since she was 12, apparently. She had 3 Pinterest boards, a binder with dividers, and opinions on everything from napkin folds to the exact shade of ivory for the invitations. I was fine with most of it. I didn't care about centerpieces or chair covers or whether we did a first look before the ceremony. I just wanted to marry her. But slowly, things started to feel off. We need to limit the guest list, Lauren said one night, 4 months into planning. We were sitting in her apartment, surrounded by fabric swatches. Okay, how many? 150, max. The venue caps at 200, but I want it to feel intimate. That's fine. I've got about 30 people on my side. Family, close friends, some work people. Is Emma bringing a +1? I looked up from my laptop. I don't know. Why? Just asking. Wheelchairs take up more space. If she brings someone, that's 3 seats instead of 2. My stomach tightened. 3 seats. For her, her date, and the wheelchair. I'm just trying to plan the seating chart. Lauren, Emma is my sister. She gets a +1 like everyone else. I didn't say she couldn't. I'm just planning. But I heard what she wasn't saying. Emma's presence was a logistical problem, a space issue, an inconvenience. I let it go. I was good at that. Letting things go, smoothing things over, keeping the peace. 2 months later, Lauren suggested Emma wear a specific dress. I'm doing a champagne and gold color scheme for the bridal party, she explained. I thought Emma could wear champagne too. Match the bridesmaids. There's this beautiful dress at Nordstrom. That's really thoughtful, I said. And maybe she could wear a shawl, something elegant, draped over her lap in the chair. I saw it on a blog once. It looked really sophisticated. There it was again, that tightness in my chest. You want her to cover the wheelchair, not cover. Dress it up. Make it part of the aesthetic. Lauren, it's not a decoration. It's how she moves. I know that. God, Jake, why are you being so sensitive? I'm trying to include her, but she wasn't. She was trying to hide her. I told Emma about the shawl suggestion. She was quiet for a long time. It's fine, she finally said. If it makes her happy, I'll wear a shawl. You don't have to. Jake, I don't want to cause problems. This is your wedding. It's our wedding, and you're my sister. I know, but Lauren is going to be your wife. Pick your battles. So I did. I let the shawl thing go. Emma wore champagne. She'd wear the shawl. Everything would be fine. Except it wasn't fine. 3 weeks before the wedding, I came home early from work. Lauren was on the phone in the living room. I heard her voice before I saw her. I know, it's such a nightmare. The wheelchair is literally ruining every photo concept I have. I froze in the hallway. No, I tried to tell Jake, but he gets all defensive. It's like, I get that she's your sister, but this is my wedding, you know? My blood went cold. Exactly. Thank you. God, you're the only one who understands. Everyone else acts like I'm a monster for wanting nice photos. She was talking to Megan, her maid of honor, her best friend since college. I was thinking we could seat her behind one of the tall centerpieces during the ceremony, the ones with the high greenery. That way she's technically there, but not visible. I must have made a sound, or maybe she just sensed me. Lauren turned, saw me standing there. Hey babe, I have to go. Talk later. She hung up. How long have you been standing there? Long enough. Jake, you want to hide my sister behind a plant. That's not, you're twisting what I said. You called her a nightmare. You said the wheelchair is ruining your photos. Lauren's face flushed. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. This wedding has to be perfect. My mother's friends are coming. My boss is coming. People from my firm. Everything has to look what? Able-bodied? Professional. Put together. Like we have our shit together. And Emma doesn't fit that image. Lauren's silence was answer enough. I walked to the bedroom, started throwing clothes into a duffel bag. What are you doing? Lauren asked from the doorway. I'm staying at Emma's for a few days. Jake, you're overreacting. Am I? Because it sounds like my fiancée is embarrassed of my disabled sister. Sounds like she wants to hide her. Sounds like she thinks Emma's presence will ruin her perfect aesthetic. I never said that. You said the wheelchair is ruining your photos. What's the difference? I zipped the bag and pushed past her. Jake, wait. Can we please just talk about this? I stopped at the door. What's there to talk about? You made it clear how you feel. I love you. You know that. Do you love Emma? She hesitated. Just half a second. But it was enough. I left. I spent that night at Emma's apartment. She was still up, working on her laptop. She did graphic design from home now, freelance, building a new life after the accident took the old one. What happened? She asked when she saw my face. I told her everything. The phone call, the plant comment, all of it. Emma was quiet for a long time. Then she said, Jake, you don't have to cancel your wedding over me. This isn't about you. It's about her, about who she really is. Maybe she's just stressed. Weddings make people crazy. Stress doesn't make you hide people. Stress doesn't make you see wheelchairs as aesthetic problems. Emma rolled closer. What are you going to do? I don't know, but I can't marry someone who looks at you and sees a decoration error. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying Lauren's words, the casual cruelty of it, the ease with which she'd suggested hiding my sister, and I realized something. This wasn't new. This was who Lauren had always been. I'd just been too in love, or too afraid, to see it. So I made a plan. The next morning, I called Nathan Miller. He was an attorney I'd worked with on a contract negotiation for my startup. Corporate law, mostly, but he knew people. I need some advice, I told him. Personal matter. Shoot. I explained the situation. The wedding, the contracts, the fact that Lauren and I weren't married yet, had no shared assets, no legal ties. Who's on the vendor contracts? Nathan asked. Most of them are on my credit card. The venue, the photographer, the caterer. Lauren's parents paid for her dress and the invitations. So legally, you're the client for most vendors. Yeah. Then you can cancel. Just depends on the contracts. Send me copies and I'll review them. I spent that day forwarding every contract, every receipt, every email confirmation to Nathan. He called back that evening. Good news. Most of your deposits are refundable with written notice. The venue is the tricky one. You'll lose about 40%, but the photographer, caterer, florist, they all have cancellation clauses. You'll get 70 to 80% back. What about Lauren? Can she fight it? Fight what? She's not on the contracts. She has no legal standing. If you cancel, she can't stop you. And if she tries to rebook things, use the same vendors, the vendors are contracted with you. If you cancel and request refunds to your payment method, she'd have to start from scratch. New contracts, new deposits, all on her. I felt something loosen in my chest. Okay, don't send anything yet. I need to think. But I wasn't thinking. I was planning. Over the next 3 weeks, I played the part of the apologetic fiancé. I came back to Lauren's apartment. I said I'd overreacted. I said I was stressed about work. I said I I was sorry. She accepted the apology with the magnanimous air of someone who'd been proven right. I'm glad you came to your senses, she said. Emma can be in the family photos. I already told you that. I'm not a monster. I know. Thank you. But I was gathering evidence. Screenshots of text conversations, voicemails. The phone call I'd accidentally been on when she told her mother that Emma was bringing down the vibe of the whole wedding. I wasn't planning to use them, not publicly, but I wanted leverage, just in case. Meanwhile, I quietly did 3 things. First, I called every vendor, verified that my name and credit card were the primary on file, made sure Lauren couldn't make changes without my approval. Second, I drafted cancellation emails, professional, polite, ready to send with one click. Third, I prepared a message to all 150 wedding guests, explaining in detail why the wedding was canceled, including quotes, evidence, Lauren's own words about Emma. I saved it as a draft, just in case, because I wanted to believe she'd change, that she'd wake up one morning and realize what she was doing. That love would be enough to make her see Emma as a person, not a problem. But then came the final planning meeting, and she said those words. Emma stays out of the ceremony photos. The wheelchair ruins the aesthetic. And I knew she wasn't going to change. This was who she was. And if I married her, I'd spend the rest of my life watching her erase the people I loved to protect her perfect image. So I made my choice. I'm sending this now, I said, standing in Lauren's parents' dining room. Sending what? Lauren demanded. I pulled out my phone, opened my email, hit send on the message I'd drafted weeks ago. To all wedding vendors, the wedding scheduled for June 15th is canceled effective immediately. All deposits are to be refunded to the original payment source, my accounts. Do not release any funds to Lauren Mitchell. Lauren's face went white. You can't. I already did. Check your email. She grabbed her phone, started scrolling frantically. I watched her face cycle through disbelief, rage, panic. The venue, the caterer, the photographer, they're all copied, I continued. $26,000 in deposits, all coming back to me. That's my wedding, Lauren screamed. No, it was our wedding. Now it's nothing. My parents paid for things. Your parents paid for your dress and the invitations. $3,000 total. Everything else was mine. Lauren's mother looked like she might faint. Her father, silent until now, stood up. Jake, this is extreme. Is it? Your daughter just told my sister that her wheelchair ruins the aesthetic, that she can't be in photos at her own brother's wedding. How would you feel if someone said that about your daughter? He had no answer. You planned this, Lauren whispered, staring at me like she was seeing me for the first time. You've been planning this for 3 weeks since I heard you call my sister the wheelchair problem. Emma stared at me. Jake, you didn't have to. Yes, I did. My phone started buzzing. Confirmation emails from vendors, refund processing notifications, the systematic dismantling of Lauren's perfect wedding happening in real time. Lauren's face twisted with rage and something else, fear. You'll never find anyone better than me. I'm not looking for better. I'm looking for decent. I headed for the door. Emma followed. Wait, Lauren's voice cracked. We can fix this. I'll apologize. Emma can be in all the photos. Please, Jake, I'll do anything. I stopped, turned. Lauren, if you'd said that 3 weeks ago, we'd be getting married in 8 days. But you didn't. You doubled down. You made my sister cry 3 times during planning meetings. You suggested she wear a shawl to cover the chair. You told me she was bringing down the vibe. You told your mother you wanted to seat her behind a plant. I was stressed. You were cruel. There's a difference. So that's it? You're just going to humiliate me? I pulled up another draft email, the nuclear option, the one I'd prepared but hoped I'd never send. This is a message to all 150 wedding guests, explaining why the wedding is canceled, including direct quotes from your phone conversations about Emma, about how you wanted to hide her, about how you called her a nightmare. Lauren's eyes went huge. You recorded me? You were on speakerphone, in my house, legally recorded under California's one-party consent law. Her mother gasped. Jake, you wouldn't. You're right, I won't. I deleted the draft right there, showed them the screen, because despite everything, I'm not trying to destroy you. I just want you out of my life. Lauren was crying now, real, ugly crying. Jake, please, I love you. I made mistakes, but I love you. You love the version of me that fit your aesthetic, the version that didn't ask questions, the version that let you erase my sister to make your photos prettier. That's not fair. Fair? You wanted to hide a woman who lost her ability to walk because her wheelchair didn't match your color scheme. You wanted to seat her behind decorative plants like she was something to be ashamed of. And you called that planning. Tell me what's fair about that. Emma touched my arm. Jake, we should go. I looked at Lauren one last time, at the woman I'd almost married, and I felt nothing, just relief. Goodbye, Lauren. Emma and I walked to my car in silence. As I opened the passenger door for her, started the process of folding her wheelchair and loading it in the trunk, my phone exploded. Texts from Lauren's bridesmaids, her mother, her friends. My phone lit up like a Christmas tree with notifications. Megan, what the hell is wrong with you? Lauren's mom. You're making a terrible mistake. She loves you. Lauren's cousin. This is so cruel. She's devastated. I blocked them all, every single one. As I pulled out of the driveway, Emma was quiet, staring out the window. You okay? I asked. Jake, you just canceled your wedding, lost thousands of dollars, ended a 2-year relationship because of me, not because of you, because of her, because of who she chose to be. But look at me. I pulled keeled over, turned to face her. You're my sister. You're family. And family doesn't hide you behind plants. Family doesn't call you a nightmare. Family doesn't see your wheelchair as an aesthetic problem. She was crying. I'm so sorry. Stop. You have nothing to apologize for. Lauren should be sorry, but she won't be. Not really. She'll be sorry she got caught. Sorry she lost control. But she won't actually understand what she did wrong. Emma wiped her eyes. What happens now? Now? I get $26,000 in refunds. I tell mom and dad what happened, and I move on. That's it? That's it. But it wasn't, because 3 hours later, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Jake, this is Charlotte Reed. I'm a wedding photographer. I was contracted for your wedding. Oh, hi. Did you get my cancellation email? I did. And I want to give you back the full deposit, all $3,000. The contract said 70%. I know what the contract says. But Jake, I need to tell you something. I've been in this business for 12 years. And about 2 months ago, Lauren called me, asked if we could adjust the shooting schedule to minimize her words, not mine. Awkward wheelchair shots. My stomach dropped. What? She wanted me to pose your sister in ways that hid the chair, or shoot from angles that made it less visible. She sent me Pinterest boards, examples of what she called tasteful inclusion. And you said? I told her I photograph people, not poses. I document love, not aesthetics. And if she wanted a photographer who'd erase her future sister-in-law, she'd need to find someone else. Then why didn't you cancel the contract? Charlotte paused. Because she convinced me it was just nerves, that she'd come around, that you were a good guy who'd talk sense into her. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I shouldn't have. So why are you calling now? Because when I got your cancellation email, I knew. I knew you'd seen the real her, and I wanted you to know that you did the right thing. I've shot weddings where the bride hid family members, edited out scars, cropped out people who didn't fit the vision. Those marriages don't last because they're built on the lie that love is conditional, that some people matter more than others. I didn't know what to say. Keep the money, I finally managed. You earned it just for dealing with her. Charlotte laughed. I'm still refunding it. But Jake, your sister is lucky to have you, and whoever you end up marrying, she'll be lucky too. Over the next week, more vendors reached out. The caterer sent a bottle of wine with a note for standing up for your sister. The florist refunded the full deposit. Even the venue, which was supposed to keep 40%, sent back 75%. Word had gotten out. Somehow, vendors were talking, and they all seemed to know what Lauren had done. I found out why when Emma forwarded me a post from a private Facebook group called Bay Area Wedding Professionals. Someone, probably Charlotte, had posted a warning. No names, just a description of a bride who'd demanded a photographer hide a disabled family member, who'd referred to a wheelchair as an aesthetic problem. The comments were brutal. Jenny M., wedding planner. I think I know who this is. She called me too. Wanted to know if we could position the wheelchair-using guest strategically. I declined the contract. Marcus L., caterer. Red flags everywhere. If they'll dehumanize family, imagine how they'll treat vendors. Sarah K., florist. Anyone who sees people as decor isn't ready to get married. Lauren's reputation in the wedding industry was destroyed, and I hadn't said a word. Karma apparently had its own marketing team. 2 weeks after the canceled wedding, my parents invited Emma and me to dinner. They'd been quiet since I'd told them what happened, processing, dealing with their own feelings about the woman they'd almost welcomed into the family. We're proud of you, my mother said over dessert, for choosing Emma, for choosing decency. I didn't choose Emma over Lauren, I said. I chose basic human dignity over cruelty. That shouldn't be a hard choice. My father nodded. Your grandfather always said, show me how someone treats the powerless, and I'll show you their character. Emma reached across the table, squeezed my hand. Thank you, she whispered. For what? For seeing me. For making sure I wasn't invisible. You could never be invisible. Not to me. A month later, I got one final message from Lauren. A long, rambling email sent at 2 a.m. It started with apologies. How she'd been wrong. How she'd been terrible. How she'd realized too late what really mattered. But then, halfway through, it shifted. Blame crept in. Justifications. The stress of planning. The pressure from her family. The expectations from her firm. The impossible standards society placed on weddings. And I realized she still didn't get it. She was sorry she'd lost me. Sorry her wedding was canceled. Sorry her reputation was damaged. But she wasn't sorry for what she'd done to Emma. Not really. Because in Lauren's world, Emma was still a problem. Just one that Lauren had mismanaged. I deleted the email, blocked her address, moved on.